Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me today for my session, Building External Facing Websites Using Power Pages. Hopefully you have been enjoying the session so far. There have been some great speakers, and thanks for the sponsors and speakers and attendees, of course, to make this event successful. So let's dive right in. So agenda for today's session is going to be what is Power Pages and what makes them unique? And we'll look into some of their capabilities and how they can integrate with other Power Platform components. And we'll quickly see a demo. And if time permits, we can look at the Power Apps portal's lifecycle, but I doubt, usually I won't be able to get to that, but we'll see. If you have any questions as we go through the presentation, feel free to stop and ask. I would much rather to see this session interactive versus just like a one-way lecture mode. So let me know if you have any questions. A little bit about myself. I'm Amarender Peddamalku, a practice lead and digital transformation leader at Proficient for Microsoft Modern Work. I have over 14 years of experience with Microsoft technologies, and I've worked with every single version of SharePoint since its inception. So that goes all the way back to 2001. I've been through the thick and thin of the journey of SharePoint and M365, as I've said, all the way through the days of WSS, MOS, which was SharePoint 2007, SharePoint 2010, when SharePoint really found its feet in the enterprise market, and then 2013, 2016, 2019, and now SharePoint Online, of course. So I'm really impressed with the pace at which Microsoft arrived at this stage. You can say, oh, it's only been 12 years, but in 12 years, Microsoft made tremendous progress, making it as a cloud-based product and having this employee experience, digital experience, now with the low-code, no-code platforms to build applications, and Power Pages is part of that, which we'll dive into. So have my LinkedIn profile link over there. So if you want to hit me up on LinkedIn, if you have any questions, if there's anything I can help you with, I'll be happy to connect and help you out. So anything related to Power Platform, Microsoft Modern Work, intranets, employee experience, SharePoint, let me know. I'll try my best to answer. If not, I'll connect you with the right persons. So before we dive into the presentation, I want to give a quick overview of who Proficient is, and then we'll dive into the presentation. So we're a global digital consulting firm helping the organizations to unleash their potentials, basically leading the enterprises to connect with their customers and grow their business. Overall, we have 7,000 colleagues across the world. We have been founded in 1997, traded as Proficient on NASDAQ, with over 40 global locations across the world in Asia, Latin America, United States, London, UK, Australia. So there are a bunch of locations over the world. We are looking at 920 million for projected revenue for 2022. The most impressive fact about Proficient is we have 95% of the repeat business. That means we have high customer satisfaction with things that we do. So we would love to help you out. If you need any help, just let me know. I'll be happy to partner with you and help out. So here are some of our global locations across North America, Latin America, Europe, China, and India. So coming back to my practice, I lead a modern workplace practice. We do anything from Azure custom dev to tenant migrations to Teams deployment, implementing Dynamics CRMs, Dynamics in general, Power Platform, modern intranets, and now Microsoft Viva and other applications. We have over 20 plus years of experience on all these technologies and technology verticals. We have over 125 certified cloud consultants on board, and we have performed more than 2,000 cloud deployments in the last 10 years. And some of the industries that we serve are healthcare, retail, automotive, financial, and life sciences. And those are just to name a few. And we have government and federal contracts, and we help in various other industries as well. We won #2 partner of the year for Teams monthly active usage, which is big. and we have won 2021 Healthcare Partner of the Year finalist award and 2020 Health Innovation Award, and we are a national system integrator with global presence. So that's it about it, and let's dive right in. So Microsoft Power Platform, you might have heard this phrase before or about this platform. It's a low-code platform that spans across M365 and Azure Dynamics 365 as well, and you can build your own standalone applications as well. There are four main components in the platform. Power Apps, you can think of it as a app development or the front end or the user interface of your application, using which you can develop applications. There are two different versions of them. One is Canvas driven, and the other one is data driven. So Canvas app, and the other one is the data driven application that you can build. So think of Power Apps as a user interface to your application, and Power Automate is a tool that you can leverage to automate any of the business processes. It could be any of the business process. It could be contract routing or extension of contracts, let's say, or it could be as simple as pay time off request or some budget approval, whatever that is. If you're thinking, or if you're on a daily basis, if you're dealing with some manual tasks, think of Power Automate, which can automate those business processes to add value to your business so that you can focus on the business while the technology helps you out with the automation. Power Virtual Agents, those are some of the newly upcoming, I would say, still, or the chatbots. So if you go to any credit card, or you're like, if you log into Verizon or T-Mobile, whatever your service provider is, there's that chatbot to the lower right hand corner that pops up saying, hey, how can I help? So it's more like chatbot assisting you with some of the FAQs and answering some questions out for you, providing some links out for you to explore before you call the customer service. So those are Power Virtual Agents, which are intelligent virtual agents that would help you to reduce the time that you would have to spend on a phone call with the customer service. And Power BI is a business analytics application using which you can interact with your data that's stored in the backend. The data could be anywhere. It could be in Dataverse, which is Microsoft recommended backend database, or it could be any other database. The data could be in SQL, Azure, SQL, wherever it could be. You can have connectors in the backend to connect to the data and visualize the data on the Power BI platform, and to drill in, analyze the data, build interactive dashboards, and export reports. So that's a tool for you. So those are the four components, the main components of Power Platform. Coming back to our topic, which is Power Pages. Power Pages is a new kid around the block. It's been introduced recently to the Microsoft Power Platform, and it became generally available as of October this year. So Power Pages is a module using which you can build external facing websites. So if you think about SharePoint Journey, at some point, SharePoint used to support public facing sites, ability for you to build public facing sites. They used to provide that feature, but Microsoft decided to take that away. And Microsoft is slowly getting back into the groove of this public facing, building the websites, having different authentications and whatnot. And that's what this Power Pages is about. So you can customize the websites. We'll take a look at how you can quickly build a website, customize pages, and have authentication providers and whatnot. But in essence, Power Pages is a part of Microsoft Power Platform, using which you can build external facing public websites. I want to take a quick pause. Any questions there? All right, we can move on. As I've said, Microsoft Power Pages is an enterprise-grade, low-level, low-code software as a service platform using which you can create modern external-facing websites. Whether you're a low-code maker or a pro developer, Power Pages has this intuitive user interface for you to rapidly design and configure and publish websites that are responsive by design. They seamlessly work across different browsers and different devices. And Power Pages provides built-in security for your content. So you're building data-driven websites which are secured in the backend using different security mechanism and authentication providers. What makes them unique is they're part of this powerful Microsoft low-code Power Platform ecosystem. So you can build end-to-end powerful solutions by integrating with all other components of Power Platform natively out of the box. For example, you can have a website, and on your website, let's say you have a form. When someone submits the form, you want to kick off a workflow in the backend to take some action on it. It could be as simple as when someone submits a feedback, you want to drive a business process in the backend, or it could be really simple as send a notification to the concerned person and ask them to follow up, right? So you have this website as a front end, and you can embed Power Apps into it, which is the data entry UI forms. And you can kick off some backend automated business processes based on the action that's being taken is a feedback submission for the simplest of use case. And you can embed Power Virtual Agents, which are chatbots, onto your website. And Power BI, you can embed dashboards onto the page so that people or the users can interact with your data within the browser. They don't need to go anywhere else. So Power Platform provides this native integration. Power Pages provides this native integration with other Power Platform components using which you can build end-to-end solutions. So there's that full integration that you get out of the box. And what makes them unique is the number of connectors, right? Power Pages, in general, Power Platform ecosystem has more than 675 connectors. So think of your data like living anywhere, right? So as long as you have an API to interact, you can surface or interact with the data. So there are, I think the number has gone up now, it's 900 plus connectors, but you have 900 connectors in Power Platform using which you can connect to different data sources. And if you don't see a connector in the Power Platform to connect back to, you can create your own custom connector. As I've said, as long as your data source has an API to interact with, you can reach out to that data and embed that data or interact with the data using Power Platform. So connectors is what makes this platform unique, and it's still expanding. So there are a lot of benefits of out-of-the-box connectors that you get by choosing this platform. So again, some of the other capabilities, as I've said, it's an enterprise-grade level cloud-based website building platform, and it supports multiple authentication providers and security built in. You can have different content served to authorized users and unauthorized users. You can have a mix of, let's say you have a website, you want the home page of the site to be visible to everybody, like to the public, without needing for anybody to authenticate or log in. So your homepage could be a public-facing page, and you can have multiple other pages which you want to log down to only authenticated users. So you can have a combination of both, public-facing pages and also authenticated pages which are only visible to the authenticated users. So you can have a mix of both, and tons of out-of-the-box templates to choose from in Power Pages. And it's a really low-cost enterprise platform, which gives you the ability to build website from scratch in no time. And again, some of the other capabilities, or it has a new fluid design studio experience. So You can edit the website within the browser. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to use any different tools. You can just use the UI and edit the website within the browser itself, thus by making authoring experience much more simplified. And the Power Pages is responsive by design. So the websites that you build automatically fit to the width of the screen, whether it's a tablet or desktop, mobile, laptop, your websites are responsive by design. And there's that security and governance that it provides. And if you're really pro developer, you want to interact with the backend code and expand on the backend code to customize it really, really heavily, you can use Visual Studio for advanced development scenarios. You can just open the website in Visual Studio and edit the HTML backend code. And if you prefer that way, you can edit the website that way. And if you prefer the UI, which is the user interface, you can edit the website and in the within the browser itself. So it really gives you the combination of options that you want to choose from, or one or the other, or combination. So it's up to you. Depending on your skill set, you can either use browser or Visual Studio to edit the website. And it supports multiple different identity providers. For example, if you want your users to log in with their LinkedIn or Gmail, you can enable that in the Power Pages configuration. Instead of them creating a new login altogether, you can have them use their existing LinkedIn or Gmail profile to log into your website. That way they can authenticate to your website and see the secured information on your website if you prefer to set your website that way. Any questions on this? All right, we can move on to the next one, which is, as I've said, you can engage with external customers and partners. So you have the ability to set Azure B2C as authentication, which is Azure Business to Consumer, and also Azure B2B as authentication provider, which is business to business. And you can have various other known authentication providers, as I've said, such as Microsoft, LinkedIn, Google. Probably not Facebook, but Facebook is there as well. If you are building something for all the users, for targeted social users and whatnot, you can use all these authentication providers. It's just a matter of configuring them on your Power Pages in the backend, and your users can log in using any of those authentication providers. So here is a quick preview of what the UI is going to look like. So when you log into Power Pages, that is how it's going to look like. Please make sure that you're in a non-default environment. So when you log into Power Pages, it asks you to select the environment. If you click on the right top-hand corner, you'll see all different environments that are available, and choose the one that's non-default, because Power Pages, you cannot create Power Pages in a default environment. Default environment is a playground for all of your users to explore and play with different tools. Power Pages is not available in one of them. So make sure you select a different environment from the top right hand corner. And once you're in a different environment, you can click Create Site, and then get like you can start with Power Pages website. And we'll see this live in a demo, but there are different templates that are available out of the box. So depending on what your need is, you can have a website which is targeted towards scheduling meetings with some institutions, or you can have after school programs or registration for classes. Whatever that is, they are grouped into different categories, as you see up here, like scheduling, progress tracking, application submission. There are different templates available for you to choose from, and you can go to any of these tabs and explore the templates that are available out of the box for you. And you can start from the existing template and you can customize it the way you want to. Or you can choose the blank template. If you don't like anything out of the box, you can simply choose blank template and then start from absolute scratch. And before we dive into the demo, I quickly want to touch base on Power Pages pricing. And as I've said, it became generally available in the month of October this year, so it's available for everybody. So there are two plans or subscription plans that you have here: authenticated users and anonymous users. So authenticated, again, is you want people to log in using some authentication, whether it's Microsoft, Gmail, whatever it is. If you want the users to log in, that would fall under authentication user section. If you want the website to be open, accessible to public, anybody could see it, that's under anonymous users subscription plan. So for authenticated users, for 100 users, it's $200 per site per month. So roughly about $2. And for anonymous users, it's only $75 for 500 users per month per site. And there are some volume discounts as well. So if you drill into authenticated users, let's say, you see the users for 100 users, it's $200. But if you buy the minimum requirement, which is, let's say, if you buy 10,000 users, the price would go down to $75 for 100 users. And if you buy 100,000 users license, the price would still drop further to $50 for 100 users. So it's relatively cheap compared to other technologies, and it becomes much cheaper for anonymous users, much more cost efficient. So again, for first 500 users, it's $75, but if you buy a minimum of 10,000, 100,000 users, and the price varies like $37.5 to $25. So if you want your website to be accessible for 100,000 users, and you buy this tier 3 pricing, it only costs you $25 for 500 users. So it's really inexpensive, and you can scale up and down. You don't have to worry about your website traffic being really high. Let's say you launched a popular website, let's say, and you only bought 100,000 users, but there are 200,000 users hitting your website on day one. Microsoft handles all that scaling in the back end for you. You don't have to worry about anything. It's a cloud-based platform. Microsoft would handle that for you in the back end. If they see the consistent traffic, which is beyond 100,000, they would ask you to upgrade your license or buy more licenses. But if it's occasional traffic, they might just like be okay with that occasional high traffic. So that's some of the licensing cost. Any questions before we dive into the demo? All right, so let's jump right back into the demo. So here I'll go. You guys can still see my screen, right? All right, so here, when you log into make.powerpages.microsoft.com, that's the URL that you want to log into, and you click on environment section here. Make sure you're not in the default, which is this. So I'm in a different environment here. So once you choose a different environment, you'll see this screen, the welcome screen. If you have built a couple of sites already, all of the sites, you'll be able to see them in the main screen right here. So you can have multiple websites developed, and all of them would be available for you to edit and preview right from the main screen right here. So let's say you want to create a website for the first time. So you click create site there. So let me go back and one more time click on create site for you. You have to refresh. So when you click on create site right in the middle of the screen, it takes you to the available templates that you can choose from. So as I've said, they're grouped by different categories. So if you go to scheduling, there's that template which you can preview. In application submission, you can preview the template. Let's preview one of them. And it gives you a brief description of what it includes. And you can learn more by clicking this link right here. And it shows you the preview of the website, what it looks like out of the box. And of course, you can customize it. And there are some pages right there for your website. And this is how your website overall would look like. And if you want to see the preview in mobile, just click on mobile right here and see how your website would look once you design it for users. So it's really a great way for you to choose the right template, and it gives you the ability to customize the template as per your requirements even after you choose it. So different sections right here, feel free to explore and see which one really suits your need. One cool thing they added recently is they give you this label of what in general those templates are suited for, like cross industry. You can use this kind of website in general for any industry. And if you go to scheduling, usually this template is used in a financial sector, in application submission, maybe government. So there are different labels. It's just a guidance using which you can make an informed decision. So you can go ahead and choose the right template that you would like to. So let's say you choose this template, right? You can give it a name right here and create a web address. So you can change it obviously later, but you have to give it something. So let's say I want to call it test.powerappsportals.com. So the domain name here is powerappsportals.com. You can have the custom domain. Microsoft would probably bring in that feature in the future, but out of the gates, you'll have powerappsportals.com as your domain. And once you create the website, you can have your custom domain, but you cannot change it right from here. Microsoft is working on that. You might get that in the future. So your web address is test dot this domain name, right? So the URL is not available. That's what it's saying because someone already took it. So you have to use a base web address that's available. Because it's a public facing site, it will not allow you to choose an existing or the name that's already taken. So let's see, test proficient, maybe, let's see if that is available. Yeah, that is available. So you see the blue tick, that means it's available, and you can simply click done and it creates your website in the backend for you. So give it a name and a URL that's available and hit done. It'll create the website for you in the backend. And a word of caution here, it takes a good 30 to 50 minutes, at times an hour, to create your website in the backend. So don't be in a hurry to create your website, but it takes a while to set everything up in the backend before you can go ahead and use the site. So I'm not gonna create the site because I've already did it. So if I go back to my homepage, I'll go ahead and choose an existing site and edit that site. I'll show you how to quickly edit the site, create some pages with themings and whatnot. So here, let's see. You have some portal right from the main screen. You can preview your website, and once you click edit, you'll dive into the website. But if you click on these three ellipses right here, you can go to portal management, which is the backend dynamic system. We'll take a look at that as well briefly. In admin center, using which you can manage all, as I've said, the custom certificate or base URLs of the website. You can restart the portal. You can have, let's say, health checks run on the website to see if you're following all the best practices or not. So there's more to control on the admin side. So for now, let's go ahead and edit the. Before we go there, I want to show you one more thing. So if you click templates here, these are the templates that we have seen, which are grouped into different sections right here. But if you go to Learn tab, Everything about Power Pages is right here within the Power Pages homepage, right? If you go to Learn tab, click on Getting Started, you'll see all these videos right here. And what is Power Pages? How do I create and manage Power Pages? How the security works. And you can go through the tutorials and videos and different documents right from here. So you don't have to go anywhere hunting down for the information. It's all available right here for you to explore. So how do you want to connect? If you want to connect to the Dataverse, how do you do that? And if you want to customize, how can you customize? Using liquid templates, using APIs, using code components. If you want to learn more on security and administration, just click on those tabs and just learn about Power Pages right from here. So which is a great feature, I think. So let's go back to the home screen and let's go ahead and edit one of the websites. So here, you on the left-hand side, you see this marquee navigation, which has pages, styling, data, and setup. And main navigation, you'll see home, which is a home page, and different pages right here. And there's a contact us page, which has this like a submit feedback or contact details form right here. And there are some other pages like access denied, offline page, and page not found, some of the kind of fallback pages, if you will. But let's look into the styling before we dive in. So if you go to styling of the page, let me go back to the home page for a second. And why don't we edit the web page? We can come back to the styling. So if you have used SharePoint, if you have used the modern SharePoint in recent years, the experience here is quite similar. So if you hover over your mouse in the section in the middle of the screen, you can add a section. So you can choose, so click on add a section. You can choose a 2-column, 3-column, 1-column layout, or 1/3 to the right or left. You can choose which column layout that you want. So let's go ahead and choose a 3-column layout. And once you do that, it gives you the ability to add different components to your web page. So let's say you want to add simply text to your homepage. So let's say Philly M365 rocks. And you can style the text right here. I'm just gonna fill up the screen right here, but you can simply add the text and style it accordingly to your design. Let's say background color, brand color, more colors. You can simply change that. So let's pick maybe orange for the text, and then for the middle section or middle column, I want to add an image. Let's go ahead and add an image right here. So let's choose from one of the images. Let's choose this cat image, or maybe the graph. We'll act like we have a Power BI report here. So we'll just add the dashboard right here in the middle of the page, and you can go to the settings of that page and adjust the height and width and provide alternative text. You can have different controls of the images. So you can align it to the right, left, in the middle. So just add an image and kind of tweak it as you need. For add a other component, let's go ahead and add a video. So we can go ahead and add a video right here. And one video I want to add is Microsoft Power Pages YouTube. I just want to pick an introductory URL, let's say. So we'll go ahead and add this right here and hit OK. And right below this, we can add a button. Let's go ahead and add a button and say, learn more. And for the For the URL, we'll go ahead and choose Microsoft Mechanics channel, let's say. If you wanna learn more, right? So I'll go ahead and copy this link and go ahead and edit the link for the learn more and put the link right here. So hit OK. We'll go ahead and let's preview the website, right? Just want to see how the web page looks like. So when you click preview, you can preview that in different modes. You can see the website in desktop mode, or you can just scan the barcode and see on your mobile how this website looks. And you can also email a preview link so that you can have a link so that you can preview it at your convenience. So let's go ahead and see the preview in desktop and see how it looks. Not really attractive, but still, you get the concept, right? So there's that text that we added, and there's that image and your video right here within the page. So you can, that video plays right within the screen in the page. And if you click learn more, it'll take you to the channel that we just talked about, that we linked out to, which is Microsoft Mechanics. So that is how you can preview your website. And this is the homepage navigation. Obviously, you can tweak the design as you wish, but that's the whole idea of like adding different sections to the web page. So this is maybe more visually appealing, right? So you have this text and a button right here and an image right here, and you can have a like a 2-column layout like this, and have this like featured items as they advertise here out of the box. You can customize the text and whatnot. And this is a one other 2-column layout again with a video and a description, with a dashboard. So why don't we see how it looks in real time again one more time by scrolling down to the page. So this is something that we added, but see how colorful and visually appealing this website is right out of the box. So you can have these featured items, and the video. Let's see if you have a video right here, which plays in line. And let's see, dashboard like picture right here with the text, and image with some action. Some action buttons right here. So it's really good and intuitive way for you to easily edit the web pages and the websites. And you can see the preview before it goes live. So that's how simple it is to edit the pages. And if you want to create a new page, let's say click on the pages section right here, and you can add a new subpage to the existing pages. Or you can create a new page right from here. So you click on a page and you can select a layout from an existing layouts, and you can choose your own custom layouts as well. So we probably should have created a page instead of editing the page, but I will say dev page. Right, and add. I'll show you how it looks and how easily you can edit it. This is bringing back the same featured items. You can add some text right here and add an image. Let's say quickly go ahead and add a couple of images right here, and we'll see how that looks. It's text. Let's see. Let's add an image right here. So you go to image or video. If you want to embed the iframe component, you can do that too. Let's see if we have any forms right here. So simple contact us form. I'll go ahead and embed that form right here. And let's preview it. I don't want to get too fancy. Let's preview the page that we just created. So right here, you see the page, the image that we added with the text, and the form that we added, which is fill in your details. So we'll go ahead and put some text real quick and submit the form. And this is where I was saying you can have this automated processes kick off in the backend. So submission completed successfully. When the user submits the feedback, you can have the backend workflows kicked off and take some action in the backend. So that's how it is. That's easy it is to create your pages and edit the pages that are existing in your Power Pages environment. And let's quickly go back to the styling section. So there are tons of color palette options for you. So you can simply choose from the existing color palette. You see how it changes the colors and the background colors and all that. And you can choose the font sizing and the colors, how the buttons and links you want to see them. You can pretty much customize it as you wish by choosing different brand colors and different font styling and text size and whatnot. So really easy to customize the website, quickly create the pages, customize them, and have different images and text style the way you want on your website. And a couple of other important changes. I'll go ahead and save changes for now. So a couple of other important sections here is data, right? So the backend data here, I have it is a table in the Dataverse. I simply have title, comments, and maybe a few other columns in here. Pretty much this is the backend data that we saw for the contact us form, which is a feedback table. And there are other tables that you get out of the box, which you can leverage if you would like. So these are all the other tables in the backend Dataverse. You can simply bring back that data onto your website in a secured fashion and expose it to either public or authenticated users. Speaking of which, I wanna tell you one important thing about the sync here, right? So everything that you're editing on the web page is live. So the live website. So you don't usually create the websites in production. You create them in dev and take that website through the cycle, application development life cycle of dev, stage, and production. And that's your like typical application development life cycle for the web page for the websites. And you can preview. So basically what you're editing is what's in live. So you're editing the live data. As I've said, if you want to customize the page using Visual Studio, you can simply hit edit code and you can open Visual Studio. It's going to open the application. And this is all the backend data for your website. So maybe it'll ask me to log in. Let's see, it goes through. So these are all the pages that we have in the backend. You can simply go ahead and edit them. So this is the dev page that we just created. And you can simply go ahead and edit the HTML backend if you would prefer. But if you prefer to edit the web page within the browser, you stay within this experience. So you have to click sync button. Let's say you made some changes in the backend and you save and close, and you just hit sync so that all of your changes are reflected back on the website. So I'll go ahead and hit cancel for here. So that's how you edit the web page in the backend. And you see sync here. Sync is, let's say you added a new table in the data section and you want to surface that data on a page. So if you want to bring that table into this section so that you can choose that table to interact or to surface the data, you hit sync. So it shows the existing tables that are available in your database. Let's say you created a new table or a few tables and you want to bring them into here, that's when you hit sync. So sync is not really to kind of update the data on your web page itself, but it's the backend database that you're updating. So preview and sync, like take a note of that, the difference between both of them. So if you go to setup section here, And these are some of the basic site details that you would see. And you go to Open Admin Center, click on Admin Center. It takes you to the administration section of the website where you see the way to edit the base URL of the website. And you can change the name of your website by clicking edit. You can have IP restrictions. You can put regional restrictions on your website saying only certain users from this geographical location can access your website, and you can have different permissions set up and whatnot. So site checker is something I really like. So site health. So if you hit run, it goes through some of the best practices that you should follow in website development, and it'll tell you whether you're passing or failing um, for that related item or feature. So, for example, usually your header and footer doesn't change that much, right? So you want to cache that information. So let's see if we can find that section here. Header caching. Huh, I selected as in the Spanish in the backend, but basically enable caching for your header and the footer, and it's enabled and it's pass. So you'll see the results right here in the site health section. And this is a modern UI. So if you want to switch to classic, there are some more features or more things that are available for you to kind of explore and dig into, like restarting the portal and changing the base URL right here, and turning the portal state to on and off. So if you go to, this is the classic UI for the admin center, which is the same link. So you go to site details and click on Open Admin Center right here from site details, and you'll land on the modern UI. When you click on switch to classic, this is what you would see. So if you click on portal actions, you'll see how you can restart the portal and how you can enable diagnostic logging, which will look towards the end, change the base URL, and manage custom certificates for your website. So you can have an SSL cert along with the domain name uploaded right here, and you can have that custom domain name for your website. And then you can have SharePoint integration, Power BI integration, and the rest of the sections. So feel free to explore that admin center. What I want to show you is the identity providers. As I've said, you can have your website content secured for different using different authentication providers. In this example, you can go to LinkedIn and hit configure and go through the configuration screen and set up LinkedIn as a authentication, one of the authentication providers. Same for Microsoft and Twitter and Google. So these are some of the identity providers that are supported out of the box. You can add a new one by clicking on a new provider right here and just go through the screens to configure that. Let's see what else we want to see here. I want to quickly go back to the portal management section, which is, if you see the back end of this Power Pages portal, it's still in Dynamics. And you see the URL right here, crm.dynamics. All the back end of your website, all the pages or the templates, site settings, everything is still stored in CRM Dynamics. So if you want to, if I have to give you a quick rundown of the history of Power Pages, Microsoft started with Dynamics portals to begin with, and then they changed to Power Apps portals, and now it's called Power Pages. Essentially, the backend is still in CRM Dynamics. If you already built the site or portal, let's say for your client using Power Apps portals, you don't have to do anything special. At one point, they'll switch over. Microsoft would automatically switch it over to Power Pages. No need to migrate, no need to take any action. It's just a new terminology that Microsoft introduced, along with some new features, of course. But that's the brief history of Power Pages, and the backend is still in Dynamics. One last thing I want to show you is enable traffic analytics. So if you go here, if you want to analyze the traffic for your website, who are the users logging into your website and from which location they're logging in, how much time they're spending on each page, there's a script that's readily available for you right from Microsoft documentation. So you simply copy paste that link into your where was that? Into your, let's see, come on, into your portal analytics section and change the instrumentation key right here to your Azure Application Insights key. So you have to create the Azure Application Insights. So there's a blog that talks about it. Pretty much you go to microsoftazure.com and create Application Insights. Application Insights basically tracks your telemetry metrics, right? So it's using which you can track all the insights and whatnot. So once you create the application insights, it gives you the key. So simply copy that and paste it in right here. That's all you have to do to hook your website to the backend analytics. So that way you'll see all the portal analytics and all the user analytics in your Microsoft Azure instance. So that's pretty much it. I'll go back and see if you guys have any questions. But special thanks to our sponsors, Synology here, sorry. And appreciate any feedback that you can provide. And there are some raffles, so go ahead and register using your email. And there are some giveaways as well, so feel free to register for the raffles and giveaways. Most importantly, please provide any feedback that you have and feel free to ask any questions that you have. Appreciate all the feedback. Thanks for joining me here. Feel free to ask any questions if you have, and kindly share feedback. And thanks for your time this afternoon.